Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Ida Midget and I'm Chair and Professor of the Department of Counselor Education at Boise State University. I hope that you're doing well during these difficult times of the coronavirus, and I also hope that you're adjusting to the many restrictions that have become a daily part of our lives. As part of supporting parents and families during this time, I have put together 5 straightforward principles that I think will be helpful for you in structuring your time at home with your kids. The principles are based on research, but they're also based on my own experiences as a mom of 2 middle schoolers who are home as we speak. I came up with the acronym GREAT to organize and help you remember the information that I'm going to share. Now, some of you may be thinking, there is nothing great about being stuck at home. And I get that, but the acronym GREAT is just an easy way to help you remember these principles that are effective at making being stuck at home easier and more enjoyable. Okay? Great. All right, so let's talk about what GREAT stands for. G stands for goals that you'll set for yourself and for your kids. R stands for routine. E stands for expectations to help your kids meet their goals. A stands for adaptability. And T stands for time, meaning your time as an adult. During the next clip, we'll begin to dig into the acronym GREAT, and we'll talk about G, which stands for goals. In the meantime, thank you for watching and take great care. Hi everyone, welcome back. During this clip, we'll start to talk through the acronym GREAT, and we'll begin with G, which stands for goals. First, I want to briefly explore why goals are important in the first place. So one reason goals are important is because they help us understand where we want to go. Think about when you go on a family vacation. How many times do you leave the house without knowing where your final destination will be? Maybe some of you are very adventurous, and that is the case for you, but my guess is that for most of us, we know where our destination for our vacation is when we leave the house. The same applies for this situation, which is the opposite from a family vacation because we're stuck at home, but it's still important that we know where we want to end up and what we want to accomplish. Another reason why setting goals is important is because they help us feel better. Did you know that scientific research shows that when we set goals, not only does it lead to better achievement, which we would expect, but goals also lead to a positive sense of well-being. Setting goals is not only important for ourselves as parents, but it's also important for our kids. There are many benefits to children and adolescents setting goals, and this is especially important these days when they're at home and they don't have the structure of school that has goals built into it. Because our kids are used to living with goals, it's important that we continue to provide that for them while they're at home. Finally, goals can help give us a sense of purpose at the end of the day. It feels good for us and for our kids to accomplish their goals. Now that we talked about why goals are important, we're going to talk about setting actual goals. Let's begin by looking at big picture goals. At this point, I'd like to encourage you to pause the clip so that you can think about a few goals that you may have for yourself and for your kids during this time. I hope you are able to write down some goals for yourself and for your kids. But if you had trouble coming up with something, here are some examples of big picture goals that might be helpful to you. One example could be, I would like to have my kids accomplish tasks in different areas during the day, such as complete their schoolwork, complete chores, and get some type of exercise done. Another type of big picture goal could be, I would like to have a peaceful household where family members treat each other with respect and that there are consequences for kids when they act in ways that are not in line with established expectations. A third category of goal could be something for yourself, such as a parent, I want to be able to accomplish my own work tasks while at home with my kids. Now, these are big picture goals, and we also have to establish more focused goals within each of these categories. And we'll talk about that during our next segments. In the next clip, I'll continue to talk through the acronym GREAT, and I'll talk about R, which stands for routine. I'll talk about specific ways to help you structure your kids' day while they're at home with you. In the meantime, thank you for watching and take great care of yourselves. Welcome back, everyone. I'm going to continue to talk through the acronym GREAT. During the last clip, I talked about G, which stands for goals. During this clip, I'll talk about R, which stands for routine. So let's begin talking a little bit about the science of routine. Many researchers have found that there are a lot of benefits to families, to children, and to adolescents to having a routine. For example, in some studies, researchers have found that families that have a routine in place have kids who achieve academically and develop good coping skills. Other researchers found that when families have a routine, families are better able to cope during stressful situations, and that is very applicable to us right now during the time of the coronavirus. Setting a routine for our kids can help to create a positive structure for them to learn during that day. Structure helps kids develop new habits, learn new skills, and even be able to relax, knowing that there's a sense of predictability to their day. This sense of predictability is especially important now that kids are at home and don't have the built-in daily structure that comes with school and extracurricular activities. So now let's talk about what goes into structuring our kids' day. Where I begin is by writing down areas that I want to see my kids achieve tasks in daily that are non-negotiable. Then I write down specific to-dos for each of those areas, such as completing schoolwork and completing chores. From there, the next step is to provide our kids with the list that we created for them. For my son, I write everything down on a little scratch paper. For my daughter, I write things down on a bigger whiteboard. For both of them, I make sure that I have their lists for them when they wake up in the morning. All right, so let's take a look at what some of these specific areas and to-do could look like. But keep in mind that you'll have your own that work for you and your family. So for me, the first area that's non-negotiable is schoolwork. And this could be either assigned by teachers or it could be supplemental if you feel like your kid needs to do some extra work in one area. So examples of specific to-dos in this area could look like attend English class Zoom meeting, complete all assigned tasks that are on your calendar for this day from your school, complete supplemental math homeschool for 30 minutes. Another area is extracurricular activities, if that applies to your kids. So it could be things like piano, voice lesson, art class. In the case of our family, my daughter practices the piano. So an activity for her is to practice the piano for 20 minutes every day. Another area that's non-negotiable is exercise. So here I like to give my kids choices so that they can pick something that feels realistic for them to do that day. So choices that I usually give them are things like go for a 20-minute run, go on a bike ride by yourself or with a family, stream an online exercise class that's assigned by a PE teacher. There's exercise classes like stretches or strength training. And then finally, our family has an exercise video game. So I allow our kids to count that for their exercise for the day. The next area is chores. So things like take out the garbage, do yard work, For example, mow the lawn, pick up sticks, fill the compost bin. Another task could be to vacuum or to do your own laundry. And then finally, the last area is free time. And I don't usually put anything down in this category, but for my kids, I can count on them almost always picking electronics. Maybe you can relate. So at this point, I would like to encourage you to set a structure to help organize your kids' day. First, think about areas that are non-negotiable where you want to see them accomplish tasks daily. Then, write down specific to-dos for each of those categories. I would encourage you to pause this video so you can think this through and write some things down. So now you might be thinking, this is a great plan, but what about if my kids refuse to do what's on their list? Well, I think that's a great question. So during our next clip, I'm going to talk about E, which stands for expectations, and talk about what to do when those expectations are not met. I hope that talking about expectations will help equip you with some strategies to encourage your kids to accomplish their goals. Until then, thank you for watching and take great care. Hi everyone, we're just about halfway through the acronym GREAT. During the last couple of clips, we talked about G, which stands for goals, and we talked about R, which stands for routine. During this clip, we're going to talk about E, which stands for expectations. Having expectations for our kids means that we have a strong belief that they can accomplish or achieve something. It is good for kids to have parents who have high but attainable expectations for them. For example, researchers have found that parental expectations is the strongest predictor for kids' success. Other studies have shown that when parents expect that their kids will behave in ways that are positive and helpful for people, adolescents do just that. So although expectations are super helpful and important, as a mom, I love my kids and I think they're amazing, but I understand that our kids don't always meet our expectations. So when we talk about expectations, it's also important that we talk about consequences for when our expectations are not met. To begin with, I want to be clear that setting expectations is not the same as punishment. Consequences are intended to help our kids learn and come to terms with how things work in the world. So for example, if you throw a ball against the wall, the ball is going to bounce back right at you. The same is true for our kids' behaviors. There are outcomes that result from the choices that they make. We also want to be clear that we can't control our kids. All that we can control is how we respond to their behaviors. Again, this is an easy concept to talk about as a professor, but harder to implement as a mom. So let's transition and talk about a few important characteristics that go into developing effective consequences. The first one is that consequences have to be felt. So if you want your kids to accomplish the tasks that you have assigned for them, their consequence for not accomplishing the task has to be worse than the task itself. The second component of effective consequences has to do with the consequence giver. So we have to be consistent with enforcing consequences every time our kids step out of bounds. In a moment, I'll talk about examples of behaviors that you may see from your kids that may not align with your expectations for them. I'll also talk about consequences that may work in addressing those behaviors. But first, let's start by following up from our last clip and talk about a potential strategy for encouraging our kids to complete the tasks that we assign to them that are non-negotiable. What I do is to emphasize my expectation that unless they complete everything that's on their list, they can't do electronics. Usually, that's enough to motivate them, At some point, they decide that whatever they don't feel like doing is worth doing so that they can play video games and watch YouTube. Maybe you can relate. Okay, so how about consequences that are not related to having our kids accomplish our tasks? I'm not the type of person that can come up with really creative consequences on the spot. However, I am very good at creating charts. So what I do is make a list of all the behaviors that I anticipate that I might see from my kids that don't align with the expectations that I have for them. Then I write down consequences for those behaviors that I'm willing to enforce. Next, I sit down with my kids and I share what's on the chart. Then I hang the chart up on the fridge, and that helps to keep me accountable for enforcing consequences. And in turn, it helps to keep them accountable for their behaviors. So let's take a look at some examples of problematic behaviors and consequences that look familiar to me. First behavior is being rude. And examples of being rude are things like talking under your breath, saying mean comments, eye rolling, talking back in a disrespectful tone, or putting someone down. So the consequence for that behavior in our house is 10 minutes in their room with no electronics. And the goal is to communicate to our kids that what they did is not okay, and also to help them regroup so they take some time to themselves. Another behavior that's on my chart is disrespect toward objects. So examples of that look like leaving a pile of clothes on the bathroom floor, or leaving shoes on the floor where our dog can chew and destroy. So a consequence for that is a fine. So something that my husband and I enjoy telling our kids is, go ahead, leave your clothes on the floor, no problem. We'll pick it up. It's going to cost you $2. So that usually helps them learn. And the goal by doing that is to teach them that there is a value to the things that they own. Regardless of the consequences that you set, the important thing to remember is that we don't want to look at consequences as punishment, but we want to look at them as an opportunity to teach our kids that there are outcomes to their behavior, both good and bad. Also, consequences are only as good as the consequence giver. We have to be consistent in enforcing them every time. From there, it's just about recognizing what behaviors you don't want to see be part of your family and thinking about how you respond to those behaviors so that you communicate to your kids what you expect from them. Next time, as we continue to talk through the acronym GREAT, I'm going to talk about A, which stands for adaptability. In the meantime, thank you for watching and take great care. Hi everyone. During this clip, we'll continue to make our way through the acronym GREAT. During the past clips, we talked about G, which stands for goals, R, which stands for routine, and E, which stands for expectations. During this clip, we'll talk about A, which stands for adaptability. In our last clip, we talked about expectations and the need for consistent consequences. Although consistency is very important, we have to be careful that we don't become too rigid and lose touch with our kids' experience. Ultimately, the purpose of having structure is to help our kids succeed and accomplish their goals. But the goal is not structure in and of itself. That is where adaptability comes in. Being adaptable means that we're able to adjust to new situations, we're able to be flexible and make changes when needed. So in practical terms, if it's not working, try something new. With that being said, being adaptable doesn't mean what counselors call being a permissive parent. Permissive parents have a hard time enforcing rules and giving kids consequences for their problematic behaviors, because permissive parents generally interpret these behaviors as kids being kids and the behaviors as not being such a big deal. Being an adaptable parent doesn't mean not enforcing consequences, but it means being willing to change directions if that's what it takes to help your kids. Now let's talk about adaptability within the context of structuring your kids' day during the time of the coronavirus. Although we want our kids to accomplish their goals, we can all get stuck in a rut, especially these days when we're stuck at home and our days and even our weeks can begin to blend into each other. When our kids are struggling with motivation, sometimes all that it takes is taking a break and engaging in a simple but fun activity to help get our kids re-energized. That way later they can come back to their tasks. At this time, I'd like to encourage you to pause the video so that you can come up with some simple but fun activities that you and your kids can engage in when your kids need a break from their routine. I hope you are able to come up with some fun activities. But just in case this is helpful, here are some examples of activities that worked for my kids. So one activity that actually is very simple but works quite well for my kids is that they take a break from their routine and they Zoom with a friend. So sometimes they just chit chat and other times they have actually even played a board game. And that was really fun for them and took quite a bit of time. Another activity that was quite successful was that I went on a really long bike ride with my daughter and then we got a scoop of ice cream. Another activity that worked for us was my daughter baked Rice Krispie treats with Skittles in them. And then a final activity was we walked over to a friend's house and we did a book exchange and said hi while social distancing. That was a really great way for my kids to see their friends and actually for me to see a friend, and we still followed all the rules to make sure that we kept ourselves safe. As you can see, these are super simple activities, but the purpose is just to break up your kids' day so they have a chance to reset and get re-energized and then go back to their tasks. During the next clip, I'll finish talking through the acronym GREAT. I'll talk about T, which stands for time, meaning your time as an adult. In the meantime, thank you for watching, and I hope you take great care. Welcome back. During this clip, we're going to wrap up talking through the acronym GREAT. We're going to talk about T, which stands for time, meaning your time. These days, as we're home with our kids, we have a lot to balance. In addition to helping our kids with getting their tasks done, we have our own tasks to complete. For some of us, that includes our jobs, which now we have to do from home. It also includes all the tasks that we have as parents to keep the household going. Things like chores, grocery shopping, and fixing things around the house, just to name a few. Just as we talked about the importance of structuring our kids' time, it's important that we have our own structure as parents. Because we have so much going on, it's really important that we organize our days. Where I start every day is by identifying which tasks are must-do for me and which ones can wait for tomorrow. That way I know where to focus my energy first. Every day, I usually have 1 or 2 non-negotiable work tasks that must be done. I know this isn't the case for everyone, but my kids like to sleep in late. So as long as they get their non-negotiable tasks completed, I'm okay with that. Actually, I take advantage of that time so that I can complete my tasks that require the most time and energy. Once my kids wake up, the first thing that they usually do is start on their schoolwork. So I also use that time to continue working on my tasks that are the most important ones for the day. Another helpful strategy is to communicate to our kids when we have an important task that they cannot interrupt. An example of what that looks like for me is when I have a work Zoom meeting, when I have to have my camera off and I can't be on mute. So what I do is let my kids know that this is coming. And during the meeting, I tape a sign to my door that says, do not interrupt, and I write on it what time I'll be done and available to them again. This is a strategy that I don't use very often because when I do, I want my kids to know that I mean business. Another strategy is to build in breaks into our day so that we can check in with our kids. This often happens naturally because a lot of times our kids need our attention when we're focused on completing a task of our own. Unless I have told my kids not to interrupt me, I find it helpful to stop what I'm doing and give my kids my full attention for a couple of minutes. Usually, that's all it takes for all of us to be able to get back to working on what we need to be doing. Again, this is a concept that's much easier to talk about from the perspective of a professor rather to implement as a mom. So here are a few takeaways when it comes to your time. Work with the natural rhythm of your family and take advantage of the opportunities when you can get your tasks done. Plan on being interrupted a lot, but take advantage of these interruptions to give attention to your kids. Usually a minute will go a long way. Finally, I want to leave you with this thought. When things start to get difficult, go back to the beginning. Revisit your goals, remember your routine, communicate your expectations, be willing to be adaptable, and as we talked about during this clip, remember that your time is an important part of the big picture. I hope that these principles are helpful to you in structuring your time at home with your kids. Stay well, and thank you for watching.